Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is getting too good right now. This is Game 3 of Terran versus Dark Force from the GeForce StarCraft II Pro-Am Tournament. This is going to be part 2 of Game 3. So far, in Games 1 and 2, Dark Force was able to do quite a bit of damage to Terran and was able to take Games 1 and 2, but here in Game 3, Terran was able to get a lot of really early aggression on Dark Force, was able to kill 68 workers, and but just now, Terran went for this big mech-style attack, but all the Hellions of Terran were caught in a fungal growth, leaving only siege tanks and Thors, which just got decimated by the roach count of Dark Force, and now Dark Force in a commanding position, moving in with a lot of Broodlords, lots of roaches in position to deal lots of damage. Will Terran lose his hold on this game? So many forces from Dark Force now moving across the map. So many Broodlords just decimating the siege tank line right now. These Hellions are going to be able to do a decent job of keeping those Broodlings off, as just because they just deal so much damage to those Broodlings. But oh man, this could be a scary push here from Dark Force. Nice transfusions there going down on those Broodlords, keeping him at nice full health. That means he won't have to spend any more money on getting more Broodlords because, well, he's just healed one up for a little bit of energy. Dark Force continuing to macro up, got crazy creep spread right now, getting his what is this, 4th and 5th base fully saturated, going around the map trying to get a bit of a counterattack there. Dark Force catching all those Hellions out of position, going for that counterattack, and manages to clean them up. In the meantime, he is now going to be moving around with a few Zerglings, trying to scout out here, but there are some Hellions here that are going to be denying much more scouting information. This gold expansion is now up here for Terran. This is going to give him a big boost, and his force is starting to look really scary as the Viking count is starting to climb here for Terran. But we do have a big force of roaches now coming around. Terran now being forced to pull all of his forces back to try to deal with this kind of attack. Are we going to see some kind of a big counterattack here at the gold expansion while all these roaches pull into the main here of Terran? And these roaches are actually dealing quite a bit of damage here, able to break through that front line now coming in. All the forces, all the Thors and siege tanks have now been pulled back to come deal with this roach push. In the meantime, it looks like Dark Force is looking like he might be trying to get aggressive here. Now taking all the bases on his side of the map, he's going to be mining pretty heavily. If we check out the harvester count right now, we can see that Dark Force has remacroed up to 70 harvesters to the 60 of Terran, but Terran, of course, has this gold expansion, which is going to leave him in a very good spot. But man, that Viking count is getting really high. Broodlords are now coming in to apply pressure to this gold base. All the Vikings now coming around to see if they can't catch some of these units off guard, and they are able to catch these two Corruptors, but so many fungal growths are going down on these Vikings now. The Viking count is going to start dropping like crazy if too many fungal growths go off on those Vikings. More Vikings on the production tab, as well as siege tanks. We see Terran ship weapons level 1 coming up. That will help those Vikings able to deal damage to those Broodlords and take them down faster. And vehicle plating, level 2 coming down for those Terran mech units, but the Broodlord count is ridiculously high. These Broodlords are 1-1 in upgrades right now. The Zerglings are 1-0 in upgrades right now. Hellions moving forward, getting to a lot of Zerglings taken out, but the fungal growth goes down, able to catch a lot of those Hellions off just right there, pinned in position for the Broodlings and the Broodlords to clean up Terran. Starting to look like he is not in the best of positions here, losing his lead from the beginning of the game. This is absolutely unbelievable play here from Dark Force. Dark Force is now beginning to apply a lot of pressure on his own and not letting Terran move out at all, utilizing the fact that Zerg armies are very mobile, with, of course, the exception of these Broodlords, because, I mean, check it out, come on. These Broodlords take forever to get anywhere. They're so slow. They're easily the slowest Terran unit, or Zerg unit. But anyway, back into the high energy mode as now these Broodlords are coming in now, dealing a lot of damage to the tech structures of Terran. These structures are absolutely critical to the construction of the Terran army, but these Broodlords starting to take out one factory that goes down now. More pressure is being applied. The starport is going to go down. The starport is absolutely necessary for keeping this Viking count high, and that is exactly what Dark Force is taking out there as the starport does now fall. Does he have any more starports up? I'm not sure, and I'm too scared to go check because I'm too scared to miss too much action there. And Dark Force now, after dealing damage, looks like he's just going to be pulling back. Will they get fungal growth? If fungal growth goes down on those Vikings, he could be deadly. That could have been 16 Vikings down instantly there for Terran. He needs to be very careful with that. In the meantime, they're going to be trying to get around and do a little bit of a counterattack here Looks like they are going to be cleaned up by these Thors. However, for the first time this game, Terran is on the ropes right now. Terran trying to do everything he can to recover from all this damage being done here by Dark Force. Dark Force has a ridiculously high Broodlord count, continuing to macro up a lot of Corruptors to be able to deal with those Vikings there from Terran, and we do have a lot of Vikings now coming in here for Terran. Needs to be very, very careful because there is a high number of investors here with a lot of energy that could trap a lot of Vikings in one bunker growth. Look at how tightly packed they are staying. Corruptors now coming in, taking a lot of damage, while these Broodlords are decimating all the ground forces here of Terran. So many siege tanks there were taken out. And it looks like Terran is now struggling to try to keep up right now. He's trying to rebuild his production structures. We do have more Vikings being produced somewhere, so there is another starport on the map. There we go. 2 starports at that 3rd expansion. Continuing to try to be aggressive with these Hellions, but every time he tries to counterattack with these Hellions, they just get instantly cleaned up by those infestors. Dark Force always in a good position to trap them. He is sitting on that Xel'Naga watchtower, so he's watching. Such strong play here by Dark Force. Dark Force looks like he might actually be able to take this game as he's starting to look really, really, really good here. So many Broodlords now moving across the field. Looks like Terran is finally going to get a chance to try to deny this gold expansion, putting siege tanks on this Xel'Naga watchtower. Always a good move here as Terran deduce. It makes a very, very strong play to place siege tanks up here on the siege tank and deny all mining from that gold base while you mine on your own gold base. But the forces of Dark Force coming back around, he's doing so well with these Broodlords. Let's take a moment to talk about exactly what Dark Force is doing with these Broodlords. As we can see, he is staying all around the middle of the map. If we check out the minimap, what has the path of the Broodlords been so far? The path of the Broodlords have been out here, dealing damage. They pull back to this gold, come back out here, deal some damage, kind of pull back, stay around this little area here, watching for counterattacks and things, and then just pull back, always to this middle position, so that he can constantly be poking and making the best of the fact that these Broodlords are very, very slow units. He's keeping them very, very central on the map, never letting them get too far out of position where they will get caught and die. So excellent play here from Dark Force, just such smart play here. And it looks like he's going to be moving into the main expansion again, dealing more damage. Planetary fortresses have been placed in forward positions by Terran to try to prevent any kind of counterattacks here. Lots of infested Terrans going down, but it looks like they aren't going to be able to do too much damage as those siege tanks are able to clean them up. In the meantime, these Broodlords continuing to push into the base of Terran. Supply depots falling like crazy here for Terran, currently maxed at 198 of 150 food, and more supply depots are going down. He's going to have to rebuild all of those if he's going to want to re-macro his army. All Dark Force needs to do right now is push in and try to deal as much damage and take out the forces. Terran being very, very good actually with these Vikings, keeps moving in, dealing some damage, and then backing off. But right now, he needs to be very, very careful with his units because anything that he loses is going to be a permanent loss for him because he does not have supply yet. Somewhere we should see, yeah, a lot more supply depots here going up. 8 supply depots currently going up here for Terran, so it looks like he is in such a good place. We even had a Nidus Worm coming up to lift those infestors up onto this high ground so he can deal with those Vikings there. So such smart play here. Another Hellion counterattack coming down for Terran, but looks like that is going to be picked up there by the huge infestor count here by Dark Force, who is now just dominating the map right now. Currently, the main has been taken out here. Terran currently just restricted to this bottom left corner pretty much as like the space on the map that Terran controls is just diminishing to this infestor Broodlord play here from Dark Force. So strong in the late game, trying to utilize as many infested Terrans as he can to try to deal damage. Why? Because infested Terrans are practically free, so even if he loses a lot of them and they don't deal that much damage, I mean, all he has to do is sit back and continue to save up energy on those infestors, and he can just keep whittling down the forces of Terran, and all he has to do is really wait until Terran mines out the entire map. Terran actually not mining at all right now on this other expansion. Needs to get those SCVs mining as soon as possible because he needs as much income as he can. Broodlords moving in. Vikings now coming in to try to catch as many of these Broodlords out of position as they can, but the Corruptor count is so high. Let's check out that unit counting station right now. We can see that for Dark Force, we have 8 Broodlords on the map, 16 Corruptors, 20 Infestors currently out on the map. Such a good place for Dark Force to be, but for Terran right now, we do have a good siege tank count right now, as there are 14 siege tanks currently on the map, 14 Vikings and 3 Thors on the map. Vikings and Thors is really what Terran needs to be focusing on right now because of the high just air unit count here from Dark Force, and he needs to be starting to get some ghosts on the field if he can to start to try to deal with these infestors, because this infestor count is so high, and because Zerg really tends to control all their infestors in one hotkey, they do tend to clump a lot, and so he really needs to take advantage of the fact that that Dark Force is just playing really, really safe, keeping his infestors in very, very central locations, and really, I mean, he's keeping them here so that he can stop Hellion harassment, but he's keeping them all very, very tightly packed here. Ghosts, I feel like, would be very, very effective at this point in time. Dark Force now using small groups of units to try to do what he can against Terran, utilizing small attack forces to try to deal poking damage here and there, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Some siege tanks here being picked off. All Dark Force has to do is try to keep his units alive and continue to use infestors, which don't cost anything. That is absolutely critical to this game right now and what is going on. It is the fact that Dark Force is continuing to mine. Look at the mineral count and the gas count for Dark Force. 7,000 minerals, 3,000 gas, and all he's spending right now is infestor energy to keep whittling away at Terran, which means that Terran is going to keep using his resources to build more buildings, and he's really not going to be able to do much by Dark Force continuing pressure like this, he's just going to keep dealing damage and basically starving out Terran. This is such smart play here from Dark Force. It's such patient play. Look at him continuing to just push forward here with infested Terrans, which just move forward and deal a little bit of damage here and there, and it's adding up very quickly. As we can see, this expansion mined out, this expansion pretty much mined out, this expansion mined out, gold almost mined out, these two expansions getting pretty low. This expansion still has some, but Dark Force, on the other hand, still with a maxed army, still mining on a good number of bases, still has a lot of his gold up, still has a lot of this base up, still has a lot of this base up, and now what are we seeing? But we're seeing small groups of Zerglings coming in now to deal lots of damage. Why does this work? Because Terran's army is not that mobile and has to be placed in a forward location to be able to deal with the big push here from Dark Force. But, so these small attacks are going to force units to be pulled back, and there's the fungal growth that Dark Force has been looking for all game. All the Vikings instantly getting caught in that fungal growth. Unbelievable. If you check out that Viking count right now, the Viking count is only at 1 Viking on the map. Dark Force in such a good position now to move forward with his Broodlords and deal as much damage as he can. I don't know how Terran can be able to hold this. Dark Force is just in such a good position. We do see battle cruisers on the way right now for Terran, but I don't know if it's going to be too little too late here, as the forces of Dark Force are in such a commanding position, moving across the map. He has now taken over this base. Terran just slowly being pushed back into this corner. Nothing he can do at the moment. I just don't see him being able to do anything. And of course, what is Dark Force going to do? He's going to just pull back. He's going to continue to pull back. He's going to make some more Broodlords. The infestor count is still ridiculously high, so we can still continue that infested Terran tactics. And this is just so strong here from Dark Force right now. This is absolutely unbelievable play here from Dark Force. Unbelievably incredible. I have never seen play like this before. This is just so good, and Terran is getting close to being mined out. Now that he's not mining on this base, he basically has nothing at all. Burrowed Zerglings there, preventing any kind of base from going down at that upper expansion, and Dark Force finally going for the killing blow here. Now moving in, gonna be able to deal lots and lots of damage here. And we do have battlecruisers now on the map, but we are going to have a last stand here from Terran as all the infestors are now moving in. They do have that Neural Parasite, so they are going to be able to Neural Parasite any kind of Thors, battlecruisers, and be able to just clean up this attack quite well. And there's the GG from Terran, and holy cow, Dark Force taking this best of 5, 3-0. Unbelievable play there from Dark Force. Holy cow, you guys, I am tired. That was an unbelievably long game. I am done. I actually have to cast a live series of games tonight, so please tune into that. I'll provide a link down below. Please check it out. I'm going to be casting live tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific. Check it out. That's it. I'm about to go over 15 minutes, so I have to cut this right here. Tune in. Come watch me live, guys. I am oh so nervous. Thank you guys for watching. Glitch out.